Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Sit tight because what I'm about to tell you is nothing short of a blockbuster in the NFL landscape. Rumors are swirling, sources close to the league echoing Adam Schefter's insights, indicating that the Atlanta Falcons are on the verge of making a seismic move in the trade market. And no, it's not just another run-of-the-mill deal. This one involves none other than Patrick Surtain II from the Denver Broncos, a true shutdown corner and one of the brightest stars in the league right now. Imagine the Falcons bolstering their secondary with a player of Surtain's caliber. This isn't just a move to patch up the defense. It's a statement, a signal that Atlanta is serious about contending now. And what are they offering in exchange? Well, the buzz is that Denver is eyeing a second-round pick in the 2026 draft, and intriguingly, cornerback Mike Hughes. Yes, Hughes, a versatile and experienced corner who's been a steady presence in the league, could be part of this package. The Broncos, currently 2-4 after a rebuild that started with Russell Wilson's struggles, are looking to reset and gather assets for future investments. They're stuck in a rebuild, and they're start at 3-3 with rookie quarterback Nix, who's shown flashes but also raw moments, posting a PFF grade of just 71. 2, throwing for over 100 yards with 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, makes it clear they need to rebuild, reset, and look ahead. This trade could be a game-changer for the Falcons. Right now, Atlanta is sitting at 3-2, in the thick of playoff contention and definitely buyers at the deadline. They've got a roster with some key question marks, especially on defense. A.J. Terrell is a solid corner, but with Clark Phillips III questionable due to injury, Jalon Walker out with a groin injury, Mooney out on Monday Night Football with a shoulder issue, and Matthews questionable because of an ankle, the secondary has been exposed. On average, they're allowing about 250 passing yards per game, ranking 25th in the NFL in pass defense. That's the kind of vulnerability that a player like Surtain can immediately address. Now, let's talk about Surtain because he's not just any corner. Drafted in 2021 out of Alabama, he's made a serious impact right from the start. In 2023, he's been named an All-Pro, and his PFF grade in 2025 is among the top 5 at his position, sitting at an impressive 90. 1. The numbers speak volumes. He's got 20 solo tackles this season, ranking 45th among cornerbacks, but more importantly, he's snagged 2 interceptions, ranking 7th league-wide and has 5 pass defenses. His coverage rating is a stellar 69.8, which puts him in the top 3 among corners, and his EPA per target at -0.17 is elite. When you watch him play, it's clear he's a ball hawk. His YAC allowed is just 2.4 yards per reception, top in the league, and he's holding receivers to a 43% completion rate. That's shutting down some of the best receivers in the league, including guys like C.D. Lamb, with whom he recorded an interception in Week 2, along with 4 tackles and a +0.22 EPA per snap. Surtain's career stats are equally impressive. 235 tackles, 10 interceptions, 46 pass defenses, and he's only missed 1 game due to a hamstring injury. His ability to double-team effectively, combined with his contested catch rate of just 38%, makes him a true lockdown corner. His career PFF grade has consistently been above 89 over 4 seasons, and he's been a top 2 in press coverage win percentage at 76%. His presence instantly elevates any secondary, and for the Falcons, it's a move that could redefine their entire defensive identity. Looking at the bigger picture, the Broncos are in a tricky spot. Their odds of making the playoffs are currently above 9,000 to 1, and they're sitting at 2-4, far from ideal. They need cap space to extend players like Sutton, and trading Surtain could free up some much-needed cap room while acquiring draft picks to rebuild further. However, the risk is real. Losing a player of Surtain's caliber impacts their EPA pass allowed by around 15%, making their secondary weaker. They're already struggling with their overall defense, which is ranked 25th in points allowed, giving up about 26 points per game, and their pass rush isn't doing them any favors either, with only 15 sacks in 2025. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, this move could be revolutionary. Adding Certain would transform their defense, turning it into one of the league's top units. Projections suggest the Falcons could see a boost of around 12 interceptions per season, reducing their pass yards allowed from about 250 to closer to 200 yards per game. Their coverage efficiency could increase by 22%, and their overall defensive PFF grade might jump to around 78.3, solidly in the top tier. Their pass defense rank, currently at 25th, could climb into the top 10, making life much harder for opposing quarterbacks. Imagine a matchup where Certain lines up against elite receivers like Mike Evans, who's a deep threat and a favorite target for Kirk Cousins. Certain's ability to shadow top receivers and make plays on the ball would be a nightmare for offenses. His projected stats include an increase of around 10 turnovers per game, which, combined with the presence of Bates, who's already got 45 tackles this season, could turn Atlanta's defense into one of the league's most disruptive units. Furthermore, the addition of Certain would complement the boosting of the secondary by Gilmore, who's been a steady force and a veteran presence. With Gilmore and Certain working together, the Falcons could limit big plays and improve their red zone defense significantly, pushing their success rate from around 60% to 75% against opponents. This would give them a real shot at controlling the game, keeping their opponents out of scoring position, and creating more opportunities for their offense. Speaking of the offense, with Cousins at the helm, who's thrown for 500 yards with 10 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, having a defense that can produce more turnovers and set up short fields is exactly what Atlanta needs. Bringing Certain into the fold could also reduce sacks on Cousins by around 10%, given how much pressure Certain can help alleviate by forcing turnovers and disrupting routes. This in turn increases their win probability, by some estimates, by over 20% in simulated matchups. It's a clear indication that Atlanta's front office is thinking big, aiming to push into the upper echelon of NFL defenses and finally break through to that Super Bowl window. And what about the bigger implications? Well, if this trade happens, it could cause a ripple effect across the league. The Falcons, with a revamped secondary, could climb from their current pass defense rank of 25th into the top 3, making them a nightmare for quarterbacks and a nightmare for offensive coordinators trying to scheme against them. Their odds to reach the Super Bowl could improve dramatically, going from plus 5,000 to plus 2,000, and even challenging the NFC favorites at plus 250. Certain in this context becomes more than just a player. He becomes an X-factor for the Falcons, playoff ambitions, and possibly even a candidate for MVP consideration in the postseason, given the impact he would have on their overall team performance. Now, the potential trade is not just about improving the defense. It's about signaling Atlanta's intent to compete at the highest level for years to come. The Falcons are clearly positioning themselves as serious contenders, and acquiring a player like Certain would be a statement move, one that says, "We're all in and we're here to win now." The Broncos, on the other hand, are betting on their rebuild, looking to accumulate draft capital and free up cap space to rebuild their roster from the ground up. It's a classic case of two teams in very different places making a move that could have long-lasting consequences. In conclusion, if this trade goes through, it's going to be one of the most talked-about moves of the season. The Falcons would be gaining a true elite corner, a player who can change the course of games with his playmaking ability, and they'd be doing so at a critical juncture of their season. It's a move that could elevate their entire defense, making them a feared unit across the league. For fans, this is the kind of bold move that rekindles hope and excitement, an indication that the Falcons are aiming for that Super Bowl run, and they're willing to make bold decisions to get there. So keep your eyes peeled because the NFL trade deadline is approaching, and this could be the move that defines the Falcons' season and beyond. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Do you think Certain is the missing piece that can push Atlanta into serious Super Bowl contention? Or do you believe the price is too high and the Falcons should focus on other areas of the roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, And with moves like this potentially on the horizon, we're all in for a wild ride. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Falcons.